Hey romance authors, it is Jenna Harte with Write with Heart, and today we're going to be talking about finding and working with beta readers. So you've probably heard that you should have beta readers for your romance novel, but how and where do you go about finding them? Now there's a great deal of leeway in how you would cultivate beta readers, but I'm going to give you some general tips and guidelines that you can use to tweak or fit your needs as you find your own beta readers. But let's first start by defining what a beta reader is and what they do. The term beta comes from the idea of the beta test in the software world, in which programs nearing completion are tested for bugs by outside sources before being given to the masses. A beta reader reads a manuscript that is nearly complete to find issues in the plot, pacing, characters, inconsistencies, spelling and grammar, and formatting issues before the manuscript is sent to the editor and to publishing. Beta readers differ from editors, though, in that they're experiencing the book as a reader would, only highlighting the issues that get in the way of the reading experience. And while some beta readers may also be your ARC readers, those are the readers who get an advanced copy for review, the two are actually different. A beta reader reads for the purpose of giving you feedback so that you can make changes to the manuscript if needed. ARC readers read your book for the purpose of writing reviews. You may have also heard of alpha readers. The alpha reader are reader writers who will read your manuscript from a writing critique standpoint. Beta readers are book readers who provide feedback on the reader experience. Now, you don't need to have a lot of readers. Having too many beta readers can make it difficult to review and make decisions on all the different types of feedback you might be getting. 3 is a good number of beta readers because it's enough to get a variety of insights without being overwhelming. With that said, you may want to have a team of readers, up to 5 or 7 of them, so you have at least 3 readers available when you need them to read, or you have 3 feedbacks to deal with in case someone can't read in time. So now that we know what beta readers do, let's talk about preparing your romance novel for beta readers to read. Now remember, beta readers are your last round of eyes before your novel goes to your editor, whether you're an indie or traditionally published author. Also, we need to remember that what they are giving us feedback on isn't just the story, but the entire experience of reading your book. So here are tips for preparing your book for beta readers. The first thing is to actually finish the book and have gone through your own revision and edits. Remember, your beta readers are getting something that is near the end, that you feel is about ready to go into publication. So it needs to give them everything that you anticipate will be in the end product. Next, you want to put together a short tagline or a premise and a blurb that you will use to let your readers know what the book is about, and they can decide if they want to read it and give you feedback. The next thing you're going to want to do is format the book. Now, how you decide to do this depends on how much you want your readers to be able to comment or mark up the manuscript, and also how they prefer to read it. You can deliver the manuscript as a Word or a Google Doc, which then your readers can mark up in the exact locations where they have questions or comments or feedback. Another option is to send them a PDF document, because there is an option in PDFs to make comments. And a final option is to format it as an ebook using EPUB, which is ideal for readers who like to read on their Kindle or other e-readers. Now, once you've decided how you're going to deliver the manuscript, the next thing you need to do is establish your beta reader guidelines. Now, before you send off your manuscript, you should establish a process by which you want your readers to work with you and help you improve your manuscript. Here are a few guidelines that you should set up. The first thing you want to think about are expectations. What do you want your readers to let you know about? What sorts of feedback are you looking for? The next thing to think about is the time frame in which your beta readers have to read and respond to you. You want to give your readers plenty of time to read, but not so much time that the book gets lost in their to-dos. You can help your readers help you by having specific questions that they answer about your book. Now, your questions can vary depending on the type of reader that your beta reader is, as well as the genre, but some questions to include can be things like, is the book too long or short? Could you feel the chemistry between the couple? Were there any parts of the book that you skipped? Did you enjoy it enough that you would continue reading this series? The next thing you need to determine is how your beta readers are going to provide you with the feedback. You want to give your readers opportunities to give you feedback beyond the questionnaire. As mentioned earlier, if you've provided a Word or a Google Doc, your readers can input their comments directly into your manuscript, although you may need to show them how to do that. Or maybe you just want them to send you an email with a list of all their comments. You could even set up a Zoom with each of them one at a time, or maybe even all together to get feedback. Finally, as part of your guidelines, you're going to want to set up a way to recognize your beta readers for all the help that they are giving you. Beta readers are donating their time to read and give you feedback, so you want to have some sort of thank you for them. Some ideas include maybe giving them a print copy of the book when it's published. Maybe you could mention them in the book's acknowledgments. Perhaps you can give them a shout out on social media. Or maybe you send them some very special swag. You could actually do all of the above. Okay, so we've prepared the manuscript and you've decided on your guidelines for working with beta readers. Now it's time to go and choose your readers. Now, of course, one of the most important elements of finding a beta reader is someone who can commit to reading, but you'll also want to look for these following things. You're going to want to have readers who already are reading your books or who at the very least are reading your genre of book. Remember, our goal is getting feedback on the reader experience of the book, and the best people to provide that are people who normally read the type of book that you have written. You want to look for readers who know how to review and give critique. You may end up having readers who send the book back saying they love it, and while that's all well and good, your goal of the beta reader is to figure out how you can improve the book. So you want someone who's able to give you some constructive feedback. You may also want to consider readers who can identify triggering or potentially sensitive or offensive content. It's important to note that sensitivity readers are beta readers, but not all beta readers are going to look for sensitive areas. If you have concerns that there's content in your book that could be potentially triggering or offensive, you want to make sure that you find a reader that can provide this sort of feedback for you. The next thing you want to consider is that you find readers that you can trust. While manuscript stealing isn't as prevalent as many people fear, it can happen. Some authors go so far as to ask their beta readers to sign a contract or a non-disclosure form, but some beta readers find this obnoxious. If you're really concerned about this, you could go ahead and file for copyright before sending your book to beta readers. The next thing you want to look for in a reader is that they are reliable. Most authors have a timeline to publication, and within that timeline, you're going to want to include time for your beta readers to read and give you feedback. You need to give your beta readers enough time to read and get back to you so that you have time to edit or revise before publishing, but also you want to make sure that your readers are going to stick to the timeline that you've given them. You want to make sure that some of the readers on your beta reading team are readers only. While other writers can be helpful with critique, your beta readers should include readers only so that you get feedback solely on the reader's experience of the book. You also want to find readers who read a lot. The value of the beta reader isn't just that they're going to read and give feedback, it's also that they have a vast knowledge and experience of the genre that you have written in. And while we're asking beta readers to give us their experience in reading the book, we want to make sure that the feedback isn't simply based on their personal preference. For example, they don't like love triangles or secret child tropes. Your goal is finding beta readers who can represent the general audience of readers so that you can create a book that readers of that genre or subgenre or trope are going to enjoy. Okay, so we know how to prepare our manuscript, we know how to set up guidelines, and you know what you're looking for in a beta reader, and now it's time to go out and find them. The truth of the matter is that beta readers are everywhere. When you're seeking beta readers, though, you want to focus on readers who actually read your genre of romance. You want to be clear to them about your subgenre and perhaps your tropes. This is why coming up with your logline and your blurb can be helpful. It can be used to help them determine if your book is the type of book that they would be interested in reading. It's not going to be helpful to you to send a contemporary romance to someone who reads historical romance, or to send a spicy romance to somebody who only reads sweet. So here are a few places to look for beta readers. The best place to start is to look in your groups that are close to you. Look in your sphere of influence. This starts looking at your current active fans. Another place to look is in your critique group. You can reach out to the subscribers on your email list. You can also contact all your social media followers. And of course, you can reach out to your friends and family. But again, I would suggest that the friends and family who are your beta readers are also avid readers of the type of book that you have written. But your inner circle isn't the only place you can look. You can reach outside of your circle to find more readers. Now, because you're reaching out to people who you don't know and who don't know you, you may want to have a vetting process. And again, you can use your guidelines to help you. Just like all of your beta readers, you're going to want to make sure that these new people you're meeting understand and agree to your guidelines, and you want to be clear with them on what and when you need feedback. Here are a few places to look for beta readers who you don't know and who don't know you. You can visit online beta reader forums or just groups that love to read. Places like Facebook, Reddit, and Twitter have groups of beta readers. Beyond that, you can go into online reading communities. Reading communities have avid readers, and many of them are willing to beta read. These communities can be found all over the internet, and in particular, you can find them in Facebook and Goodreads. Another place to find beta readers is through online writing communities. You can find writing communities through social media or even through your local critique group, but you can also check out things like Scribophile or Critique Circle. These last two platforms will allow you to share your work with other writers and readers to get feedback. Now, for the most part, you're likely to find the beta readers you need for free, but if you're still struggling, there are services that you can use to get beta reading. This includes services such as Hey Beta and Beta Books, which will also help you manage your beta readers. So that is essentially the quick and dirty about finding and managing beta readers. But before I leave you, I want to give you a couple extra tips. One thing you want to do is have a quick check-in or reminder midway through the beta reader time frame that your reader has the book. So if you've given your readers 3 weeks to read and give you feedback, you want to check in around day 10 or 11 or so. This is a nice little reminder, so if they haven't started reading, they still have enough time to read the book and get the information to you. It's important that you don't become defensive with readers who give you negative feedback regarding your book. You have to consider that if you need to explain your writing, then perhaps your writing didn't do its job. Plus, there's no rule that says you have to use the feedback that you get, and you certainly don't have to tell your readers what feedback from them you plan to use. All you need to do is take the feedback and say thank you to your beta reader for taking the time and effort to share their feedback. And here are a few thoughts about dealing with feedback, particularly if it's feedback that you don't like. And the first thing is just to read through it more than once. The first time you read something, if it's negative, that can hurt, and a lot of times the defenses go up. When you're feeling like that, it's not the time to make decisions about editing and revising your manuscript. After you've had time to settle down, reread the feedback and try to be objective as you determine what the reader is trying to tell you. If you want to know more about how to deal with critique, I have a video all about it, and I will include a link to it in the description below. Finally, don't forget to thank your readers. They've put in a lot of time and effort, and they've given you valuable information, so make sure that you show your appreciation. I hope that you found this video helpful on finding and working with beta readers. If you would like to read a text version of this, you can find it over at writewithheart.com. I'll have a link to that in the description below. And please be sure to come by and visit Write with Heart. It is a free online community for romance authors where you can set up your own profile, create your own blog, join in groups. We have tools and resources, weekly tips and industry news. We have a Zoom call for support and camaraderie, and a whole lot more. And before I go, I want to give a quick shout out to the brand new The Romance Authors Novel Organizer that is available in print, or you can get a digital version as well. The Romance Authors Novel Organizer is your complete project management from the first kernel of your idea all the way to getting your book published and selling. It is full with all sorts of checklists and cheat sheets and planners and a whole lot more. And again, you can get this in print over at Amazon, or you can get a digital version through Write with Heart, and I will have links to that below as well. Thank you so much for listening in today. I do hope that you enjoyed it. And until next time, this is Jenna Harte wishing you peace, love, and happily ever after.